Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, minisode edition. We are talking, Andresa, about winning more deals in today's economy. A lot of people are frustrated because they just can't get that next deal under contract. So that is what I'm talking about, some tips to go above and beyond and make it happen in today's market.
That's great. And if you're taking the kids to school right now and you only got 10 minutes, this is the perfect episode for you.
Okay, so I've been hearing this so much from the women in our community, Andresa, and I'm sure you have as well. Women and men, of obviously any real estate investor, there's a little level of frustration of deal flow, making deals happen, getting deals under contract. I can even just speak personally, right? Even in the large multifamily space that my husband and I are in, it's been a little challenging, to be honest, to pencil out projects, conservatively underwrite, and with interest rates, and make deals work for our investors. So I see people experienced on a single family home to large multi to all different niches. There are deals to be had, deals are happening, but it's something to be mindful of today is just how do you increase that? How do you win more deals? How do you increase deal flow? So I have some suggestions to really set yourself up for success, because ultimately, what do we have control over, Andresa? We don't have control over the interest rate. We don't have control over what exactly happens in a market. We don't have control over short-term rental regulations. What we do have control over on our side as an investor of really what can we do to influence the market? What can we do to influence deal flow? And the number one way that I want to suggest to everyone listening is to become very crystal clear, like laser focused crystal clear on the type of projects and the type of deals that you're looking for. Seems simple, right, Andresa? I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, oh, be clear. But how many times do people talk to you about what they're looking for? And you're like, oh, I'm looking in Philadelphia for a project. And then you say, what kind of project are you looking for? Like, oh, fix and flip, rental, short-term rental, little everything. And it's like, well, I have no idea. Now I leave that conversation like, I don't even know how to help that person.
No. Yeah.
And that happens.
You can't help them.
Too many ways to help them.
Too many ways. It's too many options over there. And then I don't know what exactly they're focused at. And I can also not make any connections.
Correct. But if somebody says, I'm looking for a 5-unit in Lexington, Kentucky, that's value add, and they go down the very specific kind of elements of what they're looking for, then I can help them. I can help them, connect them to resources. We can, you can kind of get behind that. So I have a few suggestions here, 3 in particular, for really winning more deals by getting laser focused in your kind of a deal, not just your deal analysis, but what kind of deal criteria you're looking for. Number 1, in order to get crystal clear, sometimes we just need to assess and take a step back of what are the current deals you're looking for? What are the current markets you're looking for? Does that make sense still in today's economy? Does the market make sense? Does the type of project you're looking for make sense? So many people are like, oh, I want to buy a fix and flip. Okay, great. But it has to also align with what's happening in the local market, right? And so I'm a firm believer that every niche has opportunity, but sometimes that shifts depending on the local market and depending on what's happening in the kind of the economy as well. So again, assess what you're actually looking for and ask yourself, does it make sense? Do you need to tweak that focus? And yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I want to make this is very important, ladies, for you guys. I want to highlight what Liz is saying. So basically, the market needs to match the type of project that you are looking for. I remember I really want to get started in real estate by house hacking, right? But the market that I was looking at did not have small multifamily projects that I was looking for. So before you try to really, I want to do this type of project in this market, please double check if that's what the market offers. Because if it is not a match, you are trying to fit a square into a circle hole, it won't work.
Absolutely. And my father has said this, when I was a kid, and I still rings true, is observe the masses and do the opposite. So as you're taking this audit and you're kind of assessing what kind of deals you're looking for, what kind of market are you looking for? Are you in? And does it need to be tweaked at all? Start to say, what are most investors doing? How can I do something a little different? Now, I'm not saying, if you're in a vacation rental environment, I'm going to go put a tent right by a beautiful $5 million home and I'm going to rent. Well, maybe that might be interesting, but you have to kind of look at what's happening in that market and say, how can I do things a little differently? Because if you do things a little differently, you may also have more ease in finding deals. One example of this, and I think it was 342, if I'm correct, episode we recently recorded, is turning vacant commercial property into residential. Enormous opportunity in our country. And from small towns to small cities to large cities, there's an enormous amount of commercial space that is literally laying dormant, underutilized, and there's an incredible housing need in most communities. Not only is there's an incredible housing need, there's an incredible affordable housing need for people to live in a nice place in an affordable way. That is always a need in our culture, in our country, and that's not going anywhere. How can you solve that problem? Most people don't think that way. So again, assess your deals, assess what you're looking for, assess the market you're going after. Take a big step back and go, does this still make sense? And how can I potentially add some value here and observe the masses and do the opposite? Second thing I'd say is audit how you're actually getting deals right now. Because again, getting crystal clear is the first step. Once you get crystal clear, do you have multiple sources of deal flow? If you're literally relying on this one realtor to send you opportunities, you're going to wait a long time. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And quite honestly, in this market, you should have 5 strategies you're going after. More traditional, off market, name them. And you should be cultivating those 5 strategies on a weekly basis, in my opinion, if you're really serious about moving on a deal sooner than later. Again, how quickly do you want to do it? And then does your strategies match the flow that's happening? Great way to know is how many deals have crossed through your plate this past week? If the answer is 0, you have to increase your strategies to create more deal flow. You can't create more deal flow if you're not laser focused on what you're looking for. And the third way you're going to get there is you need to tell everyone that you know about what you're looking for. Once you've gotten crystal clear, once you've created that audit and that kind of assessment of this is what I really want to go after, once you've created more ways to get deal flow happening, not 1, but I would say 5 if you could. I know it's a little aggressive, but 5 simple ways to just even 3 to 5 would be fine. Then you have to actually share this with people. I don't know about you, Andresa, but so many people in our community, I'll ask a woman in our community, hey, how's it going? She's like, oh, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm Googling and spending a lot of time on the computer, looking for deals, I'm like, have you called one person in that market, one person that works at the city? Have you talked to anyone in that local market about what you're looking for and who you are? She's like, no. I'm like, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
And some of us love talking to people. Some people don't want to talk to anyone. But in order to really break into markets and to really create more deal flow, you have to build relationships. And the only way to do that is to share what you're doing with the people in your community. My husband and I, quick example, my husband and I have been talking about wanting to buy a property in where we live. We live in a cute little boutique area on the Delaware River. And him and I have always invested in more workforce housing, multifamily, never in a nice neighborhood in our little downtown that I'm like, whoa, this stuff's a little more expensive. But him and I have talked. We're like, we need to do something here. What does that look like? We've been very laissez-faire. We're very involved in other markets right now. I'm very focused. But have I shared that with anyone in my community? The answer is no. So how would I expect to all of a sudden on a Thursday, a deal is going to drop into my lap? No way. So I actually am going to an event in a couple of weeks, a charity event in my community. One, I want to get to know more parents and more people in the community. But my second goal is just to get to know more kind of players in the community, whether it's some realtors or some commercial brokers. And that's the way I know how to do it. Going to charity events where you're going to meet people who want to give.
Go eat the dry chicken.
But honestly, that is something I'm going to spend energy doing in a very moderate way. So it kind of kills 2 birds with one stone. But how are you doing that? Are you telling people in your community, attorneys, bankers, friends, the mailman. I don't care who it is. Talk about what you're looking for because people want to help you. They just don't know how to help you. So that's what I have this week. So just a quick review. To win more deals, you got to get crystal clear. In order to get crystal clear, you got to assess the deal flow that you actually are going after right now. Does it make sense? Does it need to be tweaked? Always observe the masses do the opposite. Second thing, audit how you're actually getting deals once you've gotten clear on what you're looking for. And do you need to maybe expand or shift or, change some of that? And again, don't rely on one strategy, not in today's market. And the third thing is once you've gotten crystal clear, tell everyone. Tell people you don't think can even bring you a deal because the most odd people have brought us projects in the past. And those are usually the best deals because they're the ones that are like, I don't know if so-and-so is moving and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a great opportunity. But you have to tell people and ask for help. So that's what I have for you this week.
I would also say for all the introverts listening, right? You're like, oh, freaking out, talking to people. But utilize the resources that we have. We have the Facebook group, our Facebook community group that you can certainly post there and connect with women from the local market. Like really hashtag at the state or at the location. And also check out our meetup locations, the realestateInvestor.com/meetups. You have all our locations over there. This is a easy, judgment-free zone where you can come and connect with local folks and their resources become your resources, right? Thanks so much for listening. I hope you're right to the school, to the bus stop, or to wherever you took your kid. It was well spent. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.